This is Angelo again. Welcome back to State of Euphorbia. This is my blog, kind of my video journal blog, where I talk about a variety of issues, mostly centered around my battle with brain cancer and brain tumors. As you may or may not know, if this is your first time tuning in, I'm a survivor of an oligodendroglioma, a rare type of brain tumor, and I've been campaigning to get folks to sign up and give and join me for the Portland March. August 1st, we're doing a walk from Pioneer Courthouse Square in downtown Portland starting at 8:30. Saturday, August 1st, as I mentioned, and it's a pretty short walk. I think it's less than 3 kilometers, so a lot of people can't really handle a long walk like that, especially some of the people afflicted by the brain tumors. And right now, fortunately, I'm feeling a little bit better physical health than some people that may be affected. But I wanted to talk a little bit about some of what I've been dealing with lately, and maybe you feel the same if you're someone that's been affected by brain tumors or any forms of mental illness. I was questioning earlier today the idea of mental illness because I was wondering, am I mentally ill? Well, mental, my mind, ill. I have something that is ill. I have a disease within my brain causing dysfunction. I'm on medication, a lot of which is prescribed for people that have other mentally ill symptoms. So I would say to a degree, yes, I suffer from mental illness. Am I strong and resilient? And am I doing all I can to maintain a level of consistency in my behavior and actions? Absolutely. Now, there are major mental illness. This is coming from a website called psychiatry.org. Major mental illness such as schizophrenia and bipolar disorder rarely appear out of the blue. Most often, family, friends, teachers, individuals themselves recognize that there's something not quite right about their thinking, feeling, behavior. One of these things appears in its full-blown form. Now, I could get in deeper into what this all means. For me, it's been some inconsistency. I definitely see the mood swings that I experience. I would accredit some of this to do with the brain biopsy that I experienced after diagnosis back in 2013. Well, actually, that led to diagnosis. And a lot of it also has to do with the medications that I've been placed on. And anyone that knows me knows I've been pretty distrusting of Western medicine. I'm along the line of thinking, I don't really want to take this or that type of medicine because I tend to like to address things in a naturopathic method or by naturopathic means. And so taking the medication that I'm taking, and these are anti-epileptic and anti-anxiety meds. The anti-epileptic drugs that I'm on, right now I'm on a cocktail of 3 different ones. Keppra, also known as levetiracetam, oxcarbazepine, also known as triliptal, and valproic acid, also known as Depakote. Now, these 3 drugs that I'm on, I take every day in same capacity, same dosage. It changes periodically depending on my needs, my seizure onset, and then if seizures begin to onset, then I depend on taking some anti-anxiety medications within the benzodiazepine family. These include clonazepam, clonazepam, also known as Klonopin, and lorazepam, also known as Ativan. These are controlled substances, these last two that I mentioned, and these are the ones that kind of frighten me the most, because these, if mixed with alcohol or if taken in the wrong combination or taken too much of, can lead to addiction of these substances. And so I'm very cautious as to the quantity that I take of these. They also can have an enormous effect on your digestive health. So anyways, back to what I was talking about, mental illness. I feel a lot of concern about my mental condition, especially as things progress, especially as I'm told a lot of daunting and frightening facts. I read them from different medical societies across the United States and the Western medicine world. I certainly don't want to believe that what I'm experiencing is going to perpetuate or exacerbate itself to a level of even further an incontrollable state. And so I'm really hoping that through diet and healthy lifestyle that I can curtail some of these issues. However, being as a person who has enjoyed a couple of beers here and there, or not been on a completely strict gluten-free diet, and is not someone that has the funds and means to have a chef preparing meals for me every day, personally tailored to my needs, I have to be that person for myself. And sometimes it's hard because I'm feeling tired, I'm feeling wiped out, and I'm feeling lazy. And as you can probably tell just from looking at me right now, I'm pretty tired. I've been sleeping a lot of hours lately. I haven't been eating consistently, and my sleep schedule's been pretty off the rails. Today is the first day of summer. It's June 21st, 2015. It's also Father's Day, so happy Father's Day to my dad, Mick, and all the other fathers out there. Dad's probably not watching because he's not really into the internet or the interwebs world. Stretch my leg here. But a few things I wanted to address is how the diagnosis of mental condition has affected my interpersonal relationships. It appears that there's two different aspects that I look at when considering this. One is, self-observation. And self-observation is how I look at myself, how I see myself, how I view myself, and ultimately the world through how I see myself. And this means seeing that I am experiencing difficulties physically and mentally, and so therefore that is a physical mental state, which I guess we could call psychosomatically, if that's the correct word. And that is something that has put a real burden on my life recently, because I'm not sure how I'm able to extricate myself from the way I see myself versus the way other people view myself. And I feel as though I'm very honest with myself, and that I am honest with other people regarding my condition. Sometimes I want to just say, there's nothing really wrong with me. I'm just not going to tell anybody about what I'm dealing with, and just, if they ask, I'll tell them. But I also feel like it's a big part of my identity and who I am. When people say, what is it that you do? That's a question in our society that seems very prevalent. I say I battle cancer every day of my life. I'm an advocate for National Brain Tumor Society. I try to raise funds for research and development of new ways of curing brain tumors and brain cancer. And that is why I have been just pummeling people on my Facebook page, asking them to help me raise money for the National Brain Tumor Society, and hoping that, even though maybe 6,300 and some odd dollars that I've been able to come up with through the help of many friends in the Portland community predominantly, maybe that's a small amount in the grand scheme of things. Like, what are you going to do with $6,000? That's less than a fraction. That's a fraction of actual even them going in to the brain and trying to do a procedure. But every little bit helps, and I am an advocate. I'm a living advocate. I'm living proof that through the way I treat my body and through positivity, perhaps I can inspire other people. So I'm frustrated because I see myself as I believe other people to see me. So that would be like super ego. And I wonder what other people think of a person such as myself living this way. And this morning when I woke up, I was very tired. I didn't want to get out of bed. But I was on a lot of these benzo drugs, and I felt quite depressed. But keep on pushing on, and I'm hoping things will turn around, because with the shifts in mood, some of these symptoms of mental illness that I am experiencing, I also think are more than compensated in the huge heart that I have and the ability that I have to self-recognize, empathize, and to work through a lot of the issues that I have. So I'm not your typical person. I mean, to just use the blanket statement, mentally ill, mental illness, I think that there's a lot of different ways that can be perceived, and I think that there's different degrees of it, mental illness, depending on who is doing the diagnoses. So finding help's an important part of it. Caregivers ultimately not going over the edge. Suicide is one thing that crosses the mind of people who are mentally ill, and for me it's been something that I've thought about a lot, but something that I don't ultimately believe is going to be a solution for me. I want to live. I want to survive this. At least at this point, I feel that there is a great amount of hope for me, and when it's my time, it's my time. I think that there's a lot of great causes that I can work towards and fight towards. Learning to do a lot of this on my own has been very difficult. At times when I've had people that have cared for me, like partners that can understand and can deal with and live with my mood swings, that's been a lot easier for me. But unfortunately, with some of the effects of how I act, how I deal with, how my behavior manifests itself, that's difficult because it's very oftentimes unmanageable for other people to be with somebody that has such conditions. But ultimately, with any relationship or any partnership, both parties have to take the good with the bad, and I think I have the capacity to love somebody that is worthy of my love and that I'm worthy of theirs. But it's another question there's question upon question that come up to me. One is, how do you find that person? You know, before my, you usually find love and you find groups of people that you want to affiliate yourself with within certain circles. And the circle that I'd always been affiliated with was that of craft beer. I was a writer, blogger, um, laborer, bartender within the craft beer industry. Now that I don't do that anymore, not to the nearly to the extent that I did previously, since having to deal with my condition on a more full-time basis, um, it's been difficult to meet people that are that I find a commonality or a bond with, and I just don't want to lose myself in television or in sitting around twiddling my thumbs. I really want to focus on health, and then maybe that's something. Is that health could be an answer. Educating people. Um, I don't know. I really don't know right now, and that's frustrating. But I'm just doing my best to be like all of you. We're all just doing our best. You don't have to have brain cancer or brain tumor to do your best. Some people just feel depressed, and that's that. Um, Anyhow, I appreciate you taking the time to listen to what I have to say, and I really will give another. I'll give another plug right here, and I really would help it if you would. I would appreciate it if you would help and support by donating to the National Brain Tumor Society or joining Team Republic. I'll put the link on the page that you can click on. Any and all donations are greatly appreciated. Ultimately, my first goal was to $5,000, and we got there faster than I had hoped. So I was saying, let's do 10,000. Let's try to get to 10,000. Well, we've been kind of stuck around 6,000 now, about 6,300 on June 21st as I speak to you here. Let's try to make it 10,000. If there's anyone out there that wants to make a generous donation, please give. Anything helps. Everything helps. Or just come down, sign up. $25 to walk. National Brain Tumor Society in downtown Portland on August 1st. But we do need you to sign up at least a day or two before, so that the volunteers and volunteer coordinators have a general idea as to how many people will be present. All right, this is Angelo once again checking in on State of Euphorbia. Thanks to all my friends, and thanks to you for tuning in. God bless you, and peace.